Hey, what's up everybody? Today I'm doing a bonus video, and I mentioned it a couple of videos ago that I wanted to go over do a recap of the 2021 NFL draft, but just for the New York teams. The Jets, the Giants, and the Buffalo Bills. So for those that are baseball fans that are also football fans, just want to do this as a little bit of a bonus video. I'm going to be going back to my Yankee post-game recaps and trade proposals and all different kinds of stuff that I do as well. So this is just an extra one for enjoyment. I did mention it the other day, and I got some interest, so I wanted to do this because I know a lot of a lot of New York baseball fans are also New York football fans, or just football fans in general. But let me go over the recap for each team. Okay, I'm just going to go over the picks that they made, the actual drafted pitch, not undrafted free agents, because that list is continually growing. So let's start with the Buffalo Bills, okay? And I have it all written down here in my book, so I'll be looking down and up as well. So in round 7, pick number 236, they went to Jack Anderson, who's a guard from Texas Tech. And so then we'll see if we notice a trend after the pick. So round 6, they were 3 picks, the Bills. Pick 213, Rashad Wildergrove, a cornerback from Wisconsin, University of Wisconsin. Pick 212, they had consecutive picks. This is Kamar Hamlin, a safety from University of Pittsburgh. And pick 203, Marquez Stevenson, a wide receiver from the University of Houston. Okay, then in round 5, they had one pick 161, Tommy Doyle, an offensive tackle from Miami of Ohio, I should say. And then they didn't have a round 4 pick. They were at round 3, pick number 93, Spencer Brown, another offensive tackle from Northern Iowa. The second round pick was pick number 61, Carlos Basham, was defensive end from Wake Forest. And round 1, their first pick, which is pick number 30, Gregory Rousseau, who's a defensive end from the University of Miami. So the themes that I picked up here were obviously they were beefing up on defense, and they had a solid team, but they did have trouble last year getting to the quarterback sometimes, so I could see these first 2 picks of defensive ends and going after the attack with the quarterback. I also see, they picked 3 offensive tackles, or 2 offensive tackles on the guard, so they obviously want to protect Josh Allen and also give him some weapons to either hand off to or throw to, which is the wide receiver they picked, Marquez Stevenson, as well as all the other weapons they already have. This is a fully stacked team. As far as I'm concerned, they're still the best team in the AFC East. So they loaded up on pass rushers here, loaded up on offensive protection, and they picked some defensive backfield, a safety, and a cornerback and stuff like that too. So all in all, it was a solid draft for the Bills. Their highest picks kind of addressed their highest needs. So quick defensive players who can go after the quarterback. So that's the Buffalo Bills, and I give them a B or B minus B for this draft. Now let's go over to the New York Giants. The New York Giants, they only had 6 picks. Their first pick was they had 2 picks in round 6. Pick 201, they went with Rodarius Williams, who's a corner from Oklahoma State. Okay, defensive back. Pick 196, Gary Brightwell, a running back from Arizona, gives them running back depth behind Saquon Barkley. Okay, who's coming back from ACL surgery. Then they didn't have a 5th round pick. The next pick was round 4. Ellerson Smith, who's an outside linebacker from Northern Iowa. Northern Iowa had a pretty solid draft. Round 3, pick 71, Aaron Robinson, another cornerback from Central Florida. Round 2, this is a really solid pick, and I was surprised that he fell to 50, which is Azeez Ojulari, who's a offensive outside linebacker from the University of Georgia. This guy's a beast. And, of course, their number 1 pick was pick number 20 in a trade. They traded with the Chicago Bears. They went from 11 to 20. They actually got a nice haul with a couple in their 4th and 5th round picks, but they also got another 1st round pick in 2022 from the Chicago Bears. So they'll have 2 number 1s next year. So this was a really good haul for them to move back just 9 spots in the 1st round. And they still got, and they didn't get Devonta Smith or Jalen Waddle, but they got Kadarius Toney, a very, very speedy wide receiver from the University of Florida. So they're giving Daniel Jones weapons here, okay, and they're giving the defense, more attackers as well. So they loaded up on defensive backfield, 2 corners, 2 outside linebackers, and they gave some running back depth as well, because it will be good to have some protection behind Saquon Barkley. And again, another speedy wide receiver, aside from the ones that they already have, Can never have too many weapons for a quarterback. So, and I do think they still need to beef up the offensive line a little bit. The last couple of years they had some struggles there, but that still remains to be seen. They may find a gem and undrafted free agents. So we'll see what happens there. But all in all, I give them a B- or C+. Only reason why is because they did not pick an offensive tackle or guard in the first 4 rounds. And they actually didn't pick any at all in this draft, and I really think that they should have. So, but that's the Giants. The Jets, they have 4, 5, 6, 7. They had 10 picks. Okay, they also have 11 picks in next year's draft as well. So they are well positioned to play to make drastic improvements this year and next year. So after a 2-14 season, but they had three picks in the 6th round, and they made a couple of trade backs and stuff like that, and. But the most significant trade will come later. So pick number 207 in round 6 was Jonathan Marshall, a defensive tackle from Arkansas, University of Arkansas. Then pick 200 was Brandon Echols, a corner, a defensive back from University of Kentucky, a speedy corner. Pick 186 was Hansa Nazarildine, a safety from Florida State. Okay. And then round 5, they also had 3 picks. Pick 175, Jason Pinnock, a corner, another corner from Pitt. Pick 154, Michael Carter, the second, or junior, a safety from Duke University. And pick 146 was Jamian Sherwood, a safety from Auburn. Okay, now, round 4. The second pick of a guy, the second Michael Carter they've drafted here, but this one is a short power running back from University of North Carolina. And this was a pretty good value pick. I was surprised that he fell that far, but I think this is going to be a really good pick for them. And he has the ability to kind of make holes and create openings, and he has a really good lateral movement, kind of Barry Sanders, like obviously not that level, but it reminded me of him when I looked at his foot at his tape. And then in the 2nd round, they traded both of their 3rd round picks to move up in the 1st round. So that'll come later. So the 4th round pick, that was Michael Carter. And their 2nd round pick, this is another guy that fell, and I was surprised. A lot of people were surprised that he fell. But pick 34, the 2nd pick in the round, was Elijah Moore, a very speedy wide receiver from Ole Miss. And then the trade they made, they traded their 23rd pick and both their 3rd rounders to move up to 14, which they picked Elijah Vera Tucker from USC, who an offensive lineman, who I think is going to move over to guard, if I'm not mistaken, to give that line some protection. And obviously their 1st pick, which was the number 2 overall pick, Zach Wilson, the quarterback from BYU, their new franchise quarterback. So looking at this, their first 4 picks were all offensive picks. They got a new quarterback where they needed to get, and they gave him some protection. They gave him a big guy to protect him, to complement Mekhi Becton. And so they're going to have 2 monsters on that side. And I think they're still going to boost their line. They did add some other guys, and I think they're going to continue boosting it next year to give him some long-term protection. They have to. That's one thing they did not give Sam Darnold, that amount of protection, so that he wouldn't get crushed by the defense. So quarterback, wide receiver, offensive lineman, and a running back. So they gave Zach Wilson 2 new weapons to throw to hand off to, and another big guy to help protect him. And this guy was the top guard in the draft. So, and then their next 6 picks after that were all defensive picks. 2 corners, 2 safeties, a defensive tackle. 3 safeties, 2 corners, and a defensive tackle. So a lot of depth on the back end. Sally's a really, really gifted defensive background coach. So, and their defensive coordinator, their offensive coordinator, are going to have a lot of depth, which they needed, better depth, and to complement the guys that they already have and the guys that they brought in this offseason, because they made some good signings this offseason with Carl Lawson and Corey Davis on the wide receiver end, and some other guys. So this was a much more well-rounded team, in my opinion, than they were before. They also got an undrafted free agent, a big tight end, so I think he's gonna complement them well as a bunch of other guys as well. That list is still growing too, but the Jets overall, I think, had the best draft of all 3 teams. I give them an A-. I personally was hoping they would get 2 big offensive linemen. They only got 1 in the draft. That's the only reason I'm not giving them an A. but all in all, this was a good draft. They got good value, and they got their top 3 picks up top are, 3 in the top 34. Those are good picks, really good picks, especially Vera Tucker. I don't think he was going to fall to 23 anyway, so, and I don't think anybody else did either. So this was a really, really good draft for the Jets. So, and I give them a lot of credit. So I hope that they improve from 2-14. That's for sure. But let me know what you think of these teams' drafts. If you're a football fan, give me your feedback down below. I'm really looking forward to when the season starts. But let's get back to the main focus, baseball, baby. So, I'm going to continue, like I said, continue doing all my trade proposals and a whole bunch of different content, and I'll continue doing my daily post-game Yankee recaps as well. So hope you enjoyed this. Hit the thumbs up, hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. It's really instrumental to the channel's growth. So is hitting the thumbs up. And if you don't want to miss any new videos, make sure you hit that bell icon. So I appreciate you watching and all your support. Have a good evening. Talk to you later.